Hello, Algebra 2 folks, and welcome to Relations and Functions. You'll need your notes and a pen or a pencil to take some good notes with. Okay, let's get started. First, we're going to talk about some keywords. The first keyword that we need to know is what is a relation. So a relation in mathematic terms is where we have a set of points that consists of your input values and your output values. Your input values are your x's and your output values are your y values. A relation can be viewed or represented as an ordered pair, so like a set of ordered pairs on a graph. You can put a set of ordered pairs in a table, an equation, mapping, or even written in sentences. The two parts of the relation, the input x values and the output values, the y values, are also known as your domain and your range. So the domain is the x values, and that's your input values, and I know we've talked about that, and the range is all the output values. Those are your y values. So if I were to give you a set of ordered pairs and tell you that this is a relation, could you tell me the domain and the range of this relation? So remember, the domain is all the x values and the range is all the y values. So let's first go ahead and figure out what the domain is. So if I were going to have you write down the domain of this set of ordered pairs, you would tell me that the set of ordered pairs x values are the domain. So taking all the x values out and writing that down. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So if I were going to ask you what the range was, you would do the same thing. You would find the y values and you would tell me that they are -6, -3, -1, 0, 1, and 10. So that's how we determine domain and range of a relation. Now, the next thing we need to talk about is what is a function and how is a relation a function. So we know a relation is a set of ordered pairs, but now what makes a relation a function? Well, a function is a relation where every x value is paired with one unique y value. So every x can only have one y. So I'm going to ask you, is this set of ordered pairs that I'm going to give you a function? I know it's a relation because it's a set of ordered pairs, and every set of ordered pairs is a relation. But now I want to know if it's a function. Does every x have a unique y? Well, when I look at this, I'm looking for any x values that double up. Well, I see a 0, and I don't see any other zeros. I see a 2, and I don't see any other 2s. I see a 4, but no other 4s. I see a 6, but no other 6. 8, no other 8s. A 10, no other 10. And I'm just looking at the x values when I do that. I'm not looking at the y's. Now notice, I do see another 10 here, but that's a y. That doesn't matter. I'm looking for double x values. And if I don't see any x value doubled up, then it is a function. So yes, this is a function. Okay, now I am going to ask you if the next one is a function. So we're going to get rid of those, and here's my next relation. So now this time I have -1, -7, 1, 0, 2, -3, 0, -8, 0, 5, and -2, -1. So in order for this relation to be a function, we know it's a relation because it's a set of ordered pairs, but in order for it to be a function, there can only be one x value paired with one y value. So -1, that's good because I don't see any other x values that are -1. 1, that's good because I don't see any other x1s. 2. I don't see any other x2s. Oh, here's a 0. That's an x value. This is also an x value. Those are the same x value. Therefore, this is not a function. So we would say it's a relation, but definitely not a function. Every x value has to be paired with one unique y. And these guys have 2 different y's. Okay, so that's how I determine if a relation is a function. Now, what if I'm giving you a graph? Because obviously that's a set of ordered pairs. So you need to know what the vertical line test does for us. And it's really important that you use the word vertical and not just call it a line test. And remember, vertical is up and down. Okay? So a vertical line test will help us if we are given a graph. It'll help us determine a relation is a function if we can use the vertical line test. And so what we're looking for is we're looking for the vertical line to be drawn through its graph and passing only one point at a time. If it passes through 2 points at a time, then it isn't going to be a function. And I'm going to show you a couple examples in a second here. So the vertical line test is a relation. It shows a relation is a function if the vertical line drawn through the graph passes only one point. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take a pencil and you're going to move it left to right across the graph. If it crosses more than one point, it's not a function. Okay, so now that you have this page down and written, I'm going to show you a couple of examples. How to use the vertical line test to determine if a relation is a function. So this is a relation. It's just graphed. I want to determine if it's a function. Now notice I don't have a set of ordered pairs to look at. So because we don't have a set of ordered pairs to look at and we're looking at a graph, I'm going to use my pencil as a vertical line, just like this, and I'm going to move my pencil from left to right and see if it passes only one point throughout the whole graph at a time. If that's what happens, I have a function. If my pencil touches the graph in 2 places, then it isn't a function. So as I sweep my pencil across this graph, it only touches one point every time I'm sweeping it across the graph. Then this would be considered a function. Okay, let's try another one. We're going to use the vertical line test to see if this is a function. So I grab my pencil, I sweep it across from left to right across the graph, and if at any point it touches 2 points at the same time, it is not a function. So when I get here, it only touches 1 point. Therefore, you would think it's a function. But as I sweep my pencil across the whole graph, notice that when I stop here, my pencil is touching 2 points at the exact same time. That means it has 2 x's that do not have unique y's. Therefore, would this graph be a function? And I would say no. This is not a function. It's definitely a relation, but it's not a function. All right. Well, thanks for listening and thanks for taking good notes. And we will come back to practice this tomorrow.